Welcome to Marvelicious Toys. We bring you news and reviews of Marvel toys, statues, and more. Because not all Marvel collections can be bagged and boarded. They're not just toys, they're Marvelicious.
Well, you didn't actually go to Wizard World, but you came around Wizard World, which was awesome.
I was Wizard World adjacent, if you will.
You were Wizard Universe?
Yes.
Well, you didn't miss a ton at Wizard World. News came out last week that Wizard World is having quarter-over-quarter losses, and their income per show has dropped from about $1.8 million per show to $1.1 million per show.
Well, that's got to be because there's 1,000 shows a year now, right?
I think they have one every other weekend, so you've got saturation there, plus all the other comic book conventions going on. But the Wizard World in Chicago, they jacked their prices up to $60 on Saturday.
That's why you didn't go, right, Justin? I mean, it was sheerly cost.
Oh, exactly.
It was weird to me. So many people came to our party from far away. We had Chris and Sarah from Florida, and we had Curtis and Lindsay from South Carolina.
We had Lydia and Scott and their son Lucas, who drove all the way from Baltimore.
Freaking Baltimore! And they didn't go to the con. And every single person I talked to cited cost. But we did go to the con, Marjorie and I. I got the VIP Jeremy Renner pass.
Now, hey, I saw your picture with Renner, and I have to question if you really met Jeremy Renner, if you met some dude who kind of looks like Jeremy Renner.
He smiled.
What you saw...
Is that what it was?
Yeah.
Well, also, they have a new system that's actually pretty cool, because it used to be when you go for your photo ops, just like last year, you go for your photo op, you then go away for like 4 hours and come back to tables and tables of photos with that celebrity and hope nobody stole yours, and then spend time looking through for you.
It was awful. It's terrible.
They now have upgraded to really fast photo printers, which are along the exit. And so by the time you've walked from the photo area to the printers, your photo is printed and there's a guy there holding it looking for your face to hand to you.
See, it's about time. I mean, they've been doing that on roller coasters and other rides for a decade now, where it's like, hey, here's a picture of you screaming. Here you go. Buy it for $15.
Yeah. So they did that, and what you saw was actually a camera phone photo of the Instaprint that they gave me, which made us both look like we had a little bit of jaundice. And it did make him look like a standee. I'm a little mad at the photo because, you get one shot at this. My mouth was on the way to smile. And instead it now looks like Jeremy Renner's really happy to meet me.
Hey, he is. Doesn't he know who you are?
But Renner was nice. He was jovial. He was friendly. He put his arm around me for the photo. He shook my hand. He was smiling. He was posing with people. Somebody came in a full Gretel costume and recreated the cover to Hansel and Gretel Witch Hunters with him. I mean, he was having a blast. From everything we talked about with the whole wedding reception and things, I expected him to be a little bit of a Richard, but he wasn't.
No, he seemed to be really nice, because I was also expecting him to be Rick with a silent P.
I bet you they gave him his check beforehand.
Or he's doing damage control.
Or he drank at one of the mini alcohol stations around the con. I'll tell you, though, the con itself wasn't all that grand. If you wanted to adopt a puppy from a local shelter or buy a sugar glider or get some LASIK surgery, Wizard World Chicago was yours.
Oh, but wait, don't forget, you could buy the Ginsu knives. You could get your back adjusted by the chiropractor who was doing adjustments on site in a booth.
So, obviously they didn't fill up their booths?
I don't know if they didn't fill up the booths or they just don't care who buys one. And these people are like, Comic-Con, people go to Comic-Cons, they're going to want a chiropractor, right?
Free vacations, of course.
I think they might have been local. The only thing that I could tell wasn't local that I looked was the nail place, because there was the nail paint place, the nail polish place. I did buy nail polish at Wizard World. A lot of nail polish.
From Russians from Vegas.
Jeez. How was the shopping otherwise? Were there other good vendors there at least?
It was pretty much the standard thing. I looked, but I didn't buy much. There were a couple of Toy Biz figure lines that I'd never heard of. And I'm like, I'll buy that figure for $20. Why not? Or a really nice soft goods 10-inch Vision from Toy Biz. I'm like, all right, I'll buy that figure. Why not? I think that was the extent of my toys. I was looking at the Marvel Universe figures, and those things are going up. Those things are just the last waves of MU before they became Infinite Series 3 3/4 inch. Are like 15 to 20 a figure, and you go older, the price just keeps getting higher. So if you have those mint on card, you've got a real collectible there.
Even for figures that were last wave of MU and first wave or second wave of Infinite Series, there's a big price discrepancy because that Omega Red was one of those last shipping MU figures. They put the exact same figure on the Infinite Series card, and the price difference online is incredible on those two.
Yeah, so I was looking at that. I did find you a Buy Beast.
Awesome.
From the Incredible Hulk. You had told me at one point you were looking for a Buy Beast. So I found one, and I had seen on eBay that Buy Beast at one point, like a couple years ago, I think it was last spring, I was at a Kansas City con, and you had me looking for Spider Hulk and Buy Beast.
Yep, those are kind of like, I hesitate to call them holy grails, but like figures that need to be checked off on my long list of things I should have bought a long time ago.
Haven't we been looking for that Spider Hulk for a while for Justin?
Yes.
I seem to remember stopping at numerous places where you saw where they might have it and looking, which is also convenient because it's a place Arnie was looking anyway.
Yeah, I would never send you out of your way.
Well, I rarely look for loose for me, but any place that has them loose also has them carded. I've only found one loose Spider Hulk for you, and it was like $10 higher than you wanted to go. So the hunt continues. But this Buy Beast, I saw it, I'm like, probably 50, 60, 80. I asked the guy, I'm like, how much for Buy Beast? He kind of looks at it like, 25.
Ding.
Really? I'm like, all right, I'm buying this. If Justin doesn't want it, I will. I have one mint on card, but this one had a creased card. I'm like, if he doesn't want it, I'll open it. And if he wants it, he can finally check that off his list.
And I appreciate it.
I mean, that's not much more than retail.
No way. Retail back then was probably, closer to 12 or 13, but geez, inflation, that's a great price. So thank you very much. My list has gotten very short now.
I'm happy to be your proxy hunter.
My proxy bargain hunter.
But other than that, I don't think we bought a whole lot at all. I was looking at graphic novels and just decided I didn't want to carry them even at 66% off.
Well, the one booth that usually has them for an insanely low price wasn't there this time. Did you notice? Those people who knew you, where you bought a ton last year, they weren't there. A lot of the comic vendors were missing, and they were replaced by things like the Army with a recruitment stand.
One thing you did get, which ended up being really awesome, is you picked up a little piece of artwork for Rory, which had Deadpool holding hands with Harley Quinn on it. And it was just the cutest little thing. And I gave it to her as soon as I got home on Sunday. And she was just over the moon.
Aww.
She was like, Arnie and Marjorie got that for me? I'm like, yes, they did. They were thinking of you. And so she's like, well, hold on. Who's Arnie's favorite character? I'm like, well, he's got a whole bunch of them. So I rattled off some. And she's like, I'll do Ghost Rider. So she quickly drew up a picture of Ghost Rider. She's like, here, send that to Arnie. I'm like, will do.
And it was adorable. Thank you so much for that.
I'm glad she liked that, though. It just, screamed you two. And especially since they were holding hands, and it was adorable.
Yeah, father's favorite character and daughter's favorite character.
It was great. Thank you, guys. She still blushes over it. She keeps it right by the computer, and every morning she looks at it.
That is too cute.
It was kind of a make good from the time we sent you, late packages, and you thought it was her birthday gift, and you made her open it, and it was all for you. We felt so bad for that.
Did we ever tell that story? That's a great story.
That's right. I'd gotten some Deadpool stuff, like a Deadpool bottle opener and some various stuff that I think we just forgot to send at Christmas. And so we wrapped it up and mailed it to you along with a couple other things we'd found. It didn't tell you.
Did not tell me. And it came in a big, just a big box. And my mother-in-law has a tendency to collect things from garage sales and yard sales and dollar stores over the course of a year and then just ship it to us in a big box every so often. So as I'm going through this thing, and, I just opened it up and kind of took a quick look in there. I can't remember what the first thing I saw was, but it was something somewhat girly. And I was like, oh, Rory, this must be your birthday gift from your grandma. So she's opening up these presents one by one. She's like, "Oh, look, a Deadpool bottle opener." I'm like, "Well, that's weird. Maybe Grandma got that for me. I don't know how she likes Deadpool, but that's cool." And every time she opened something else, it was like another Deadpool thing. It was a Deadpool masher and a Deadpool noggins. I'm like, wait a minute, what's going on here? Took us about a good 10 minutes to figure it out.
You got that bootleg Deadpool figure?
That's right. All kinds of cool stuff.
So we felt like we needed to make good and to send something to Rari. And when we saw that, I'm like, all right, we'll get that. That's where I spent most of my time and money was Artist Alley, because the vendors didn't have a lot for me.
And they weren't bargaining. Usually when you go to Wizard World Chicago, it's the last show for a lot of people in the Midwest, and they don't want to carry the stock back home, so they will basically sell it really cheap in exchange, for not have to take it home. And this year, not so much. Mainly because there wasn't stuff I wanted either. But what there was, no one was bargaining. Although I did get the good laugh because, was it like 3 years ago? You tried to buy that comic Hulk.
The Master Replicas 3D comic cover series they did, that Incredible Hulk that had the gray Hulk and the Bruce Banner in front of it. You remember that?
Oh, yeah.
Well, they had one at Wizard World like several years ago.
Yeah, and I tried to bargain with the guy, and he would not come down on price at all. And I said, fine, I'll just go buy it somewhere else. And I did, for a lot less money. He still got that goddamn thing.
No, and we went back later that weekend, right before they closed, to see if he'd negotiate. I think he'd packed it up, and he just went, well, you missed out. It sold. And we're like, fine, it was too expensive anyway. It is there. It did not sell. It has been there for years. Little schadenfreude there.
Well, hoarders are going to be hoarders, and they end up getting buried by their stuff. So it's his karma. So let him bury himself.
We actually closed down the show. We were there as they were breaking it down, and I saw something that I kind of wanted. I've wanted for a while. The Marvel Legends Spider-Man and Sinister Six box set.
Oh, nice.
And the guy, I asked how much, and he was like, $400. I'm like, what are you on?
Wow.
He's like, but since the show's ending, I'll make $350. I'm like, no. I mean, this is not a cheap set, but just a quick search on eBay, I see a $195.95 or best offer listing.
Yeah.
So like half of what he was originally asking. I'm like, I understand your booths are expensive, but no. You have to understand that for the majority of the customers at a comic convention, you're competing against eBay. Because any old toy you have, I can probably find there. And if you're more expensive, I'm going there. Right here, 22 hours left, Sinister Six box, gorgeous shape, $149.99 plus 20 in shipping.
It's about right.
Compared to his crazy 400. So
Did you already buy it?
No, I haven't. I only looked up the prices now. I knew he was overpriced, but I was wondering what the going rate was.
So while you're looking at that one, then you discovered the House of M set as well?
Actually, he did have that, but I wasn't as into the House of M box set. He did have some of those. I didn't even ask, but it looks like that's about $100 to $115.
Yep. It's not... Yeah, that's actually kind of come down. Both of those sets were usually right around $150 for years, but so you didn't bite on his prices?
No, I didn't bite on a lot of prices. The only thing I bought was an Agent May pop, just because I didn't want to pay shipping. And I had placed an order at Hot Topic a couple weeks ago for a whole bunch of Funko stuff because they'd given me a 20% off your order coupon, and they had a whole slew of Funko exclusives. And Marjorie got a Funko shirt of Ghost Rider.
I did, because he's awesome.
And I didn't get the Agent Carter, though, because they wanted like $14 for her and then 20% off. And I'm like, 14's high for a not exclusive pop and then shipping. I'll just get her at the con. Well, turns out only one vendor had her, and it was $15. So I'm like, you win some, you lose some, so I bought it.
Which just still isn't too crazy for a pop. I mean, you've seen some of them go way up there, too.
Yeah, indeed. But this one's just at the cusp of release. Most of the vendors we even talked to, like, there were a ton of vendors. $8 pops, $9 pops. I paid $7.95 for Agent May. I mean, I love that pricing. That's why I wanted to buy it at a show. But this is our last local con of the year, so it was literally now or never, because I'm not going to fly it home from New York Comic Con, because those things be fragile.
Oh, yeah. I have plenty of dinged con-exclusive pop figures here at home.
If I can avoid shipping them at all costs, I will.
We talked about that before, didn't we? Coming up with custom-sized boxes and just selling them at cons that fit the Pops in there perfectly.
They actually now sell protective cases for the Pops.
Nice.
Why don't we have some?
Well, they're $10 per box.
But is it something you can reopen?
Well, yes, but the Funkos themselves are $10 a piece. So buying a
Not
box...
all of them are $10 a piece when you buy them at conventions.
Well, that is true.
So I think that'd be a worthy expenditure to have it to ship it home, and you could just keep reusing it.
Well, that's a good point. So maybe I'll buy some.
You know, dear, you have a point.
See how easy that was?
It took me a long way to get there.
We're making progress, though. Well, all in all, it sounds like it was an okay con, and I'm probably better off for having not spent $60 or $120 to get two of us in.
Exactly. I mean, I spent my time in Artist Alley. I got that thing for Rory. I got a whole bunch of art for myself. My Age of Ultron cover collection is coming along nicely. I spent literally 2.5 days in Artist Alley. I went for Thursday through Sunday, and 2.5 days of it was Artist Alley.
And then I had to go back on Sunday and do his pickups.
Because I was in line for Jeremy Renner for like 8 hours.
That doesn't sound very VIP.
Here's where Wizard World really fails, because it does have one of the best outflow and inflow as far as conventions go, with clearly defined doors to get in and out without having to like swim upstream trying to get out the door or in the door. So I give them props for that. They have good crowd management in that regard. Where they really fail is their autograph and photo op tickets. Second year in a row, we bought VIP last year because I had to meet Sebastian Stan, and this year Arnie had to do Jeremy Renner. And you'd think VIP would get you in and out quickly, or you get some kind of perks. All it is we got to line up in a separate line versus the people who didn't have VIP. And because they oversold photo ops and autograph tickets, they blew through all the photo ops before getting Jeremy Renner to his, 1 o'clock signing or whatever.
He was supposed to start signing at 12:05. The photo op started at 10. And then he was supposed to be signing photos at 12 for and then his panel was at 2. I actually had Marjorie get in line for the autograph while I was still in line for the photo, and then I went and tagged her out, and Jeremy Renner didn't even show up to start signing autographs until well after 1.
And it's because they sold so many photo op tickets, and he was only doing one photo op session, they had to do that.
Oh, man.
Yeah, so they just made their own mess there. And last year it happened with Dave Bautista, too. We ended up getting his autograph, and it was after the floor already closed, but they had a line there, and he was only signing one day, and he was nice enough to stay and sign.
Thanks for watching this video. You can see full episodes of Marvelicious Toys with more collecting news and reviews at marvelicioustoys.com. We also have thousands of toy and collectible photos in our photo gallery. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. Until next time, make mine Marvelicious.